I'm pleased to be here with the ambassadors from Ukraine and from Albania, but I will be speaking to you in my national capacity. Today we mark the 32nd anniversary of Ukraine's independence, and I want to congratulate the ambassador and I want to congratulate the Ukrainian people. Their courage inspires us. But what should be a celebration is marred by one man, Vladimir Putin, who for a year and a half has tried to beat the Ukrainian people into submission. But Putin has failed. He failed miserably. The Ukrainian people have bravely fought to defend their freedom and democracy and culture. And that is something that is worthy of celebrating. And they have bravely fought to defend and return Ukraine's children who've been forcibly transferred or deported to Russia, Belarus, and Russian-occupied territories. Every single member state must hold Russia accountable for its war of choice, especially because Russia's attacks on Ukraine are attacks on us all, on the UN's very charter, on the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity, and on the world's food supply. From the earliest days of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Russia has weaponized food. This is a deliberate part of its war strategy, and it is having a devastating impact on people facing acute food insecurity, particularly in the Middle East and Africa. When I say Russia is waging a war on the world's food supply, I mean this literally. You can see this in the pictures that we've brought here today, which show the damage Russia has done to Ukraine's ports and grain infrastructure. Time and time again, Russia has destroyed food and the means to produce it. And just this week, reports indicate Russian drones struck Ukrainian grain facilities at the Danube River port in Izmail. Last month, Russia also unilaterally withdrew from the Black Sea Grain Initiative, an initiative that was helping grain get out to the world, especially the developing world. This isn't normal. This is not the behavior of a responsible country. And the international community must continue to call out Russia for its brutality. Today, I wanted to send a clear message to President Putin. Cease your attacks on Ukraine, on Ukraine's children, and on the world's hungry. Release Paul Whelan and Evan Gershkovich, American citizens who have been wrongfully detained, and end your senseless war of aggression once and for all. The Ukrainian people will continue to stand strong, and we will continue to stand strongly behind them. Thank you very much. And I'd like to turn the floor over to the Albanian representative. I'm going to leave you for last because you should be the last to speak.
Thank you, Linda. And let me join you in congratulating Sergei, the permanent representative of Ukraine to the United Nations, and the Ukrainian people for the Independence Day. For 547 days, the entire world has been witnessing the sacrifice of a nation united to defend its territorial integrity and sovereignty, its freedom, its choice, the right to exist, brutally assaulted by its neighbor in a blatant violation of the UN Charter and international law. Since February 24, Russia has been trying to deny the existence of Ukraine, a member of the United Nations, has tried to subjugate and annihilate its people and to annex part of its territory. It has not prevailed, as you rightly mentioned, Linda, thanks to extraordinary courage and the unwavering determination of the Ukrainian people and the strong and continued support and solidarity of the international community. Ukraine is fighting for its land, for its right to decide about its future. But we must not forget that Ukraine is also fighting for the just cause and for preserving the international rules-based order. The consequences of this war go well beyond Ukraine, affecting every corner of the world. And we call on Russia to stop the weaponization of food and to resume the Black Sea Grain Initiative as soon as possible, for the sake of those hundreds of millions in need and of the most vulnerable worldwide. This is why all peace-loving nations must continue to stand in full solidarity and maintain their enduring support for Ukraine, rooted in the shared democratic values and interests, above all, respect for the UN Charter and the principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty. We must never contemplate impunity, and in this regard, we reiterate the importance of full accountability for crimes and illegal actions committed by Russia in Ukraine. I'll get it. While we reiterate our firm rejection of Russia's illegal war, we welcome every serious effort for peace, but for a just peace that respects Ukraine's internationally recognized borders and is based on the UN Charter and the United Nations resolutions we have all adopted. I thank you.
Thank you, dear friends, dear Linda, dear Ferit, dear members of the press community. At the outset, I would like to thank all the friends and partners who have congratulated Ukraine on today's Independence Day, including at this Security Council meeting that has just concluded. Their support and solidarity help our fight for independence and sovereignty. There is no doubt that this fight will end with the victory of Ukraine and the entire civilized world. This will also be a victory for the principles of the UN Charter and the rules-based order. This victory will also include accountability for those responsible for the crime of aggression, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Today, at the Security Council meeting, we addressed one of the most notorious Russian crimes, crimes against Ukrainian children. We heard from the briefers that Russia continues its heinous, well-planned practice of forcible transfers and deportations of Ukrainian children, their aggressive indoctrination and Russification. The Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine is about Ukraine's future, and there is no future without children. We will continue working closely to return every deported Ukrainian child and hold every Russian war criminal accountable for every war crime committed in Ukraine. Accountability is inevitable. We are grateful to the United States for today's decision to impose sanctions on those responsible for the deportations of Ukrainian children. We encourage others to do the same. And let me conclude with the words of my President from today's address on the occasion of the Independence Day. Ukrainian children in Ukrainian squares and streets will celebrate Ukrainian independence in the same way. Our grandchildren will celebrate, and their grandchildren will celebrate, together with their friends of our state, with Ukraine's allies and partners, and there will never be any more pauses in Ukrainian history. Thank you.